So today we are looking at Dungeon Mart, and if you will excuse me for a moment, I just want to mute the tab because there are no sound controls, sadly. So obviously we're starting off with a critique. We're going to jump in and have a look at the gameplay in a moment. But first I just want to talk very briefly about what this game is. And there are two kind of game concepts that I'm very, very fond of at the moment that are popular amongst the kind of the indie crowd, and I think we need more attention on them and more focus on them. The first is the idea of being a shopkeeper in an RPG world. You know, you're not the hero or the villain or anything like that. You're just one of the kind of support elements, the shopkeeper that sees the adventurers, or in this case, the bad guys, cruise in and out and buy things from. And I think that's a very powerful mechanism to tell a good story from. So I'm very fond of that. And the other is the sort of shop simulator. Again, there's a lot of games out for that, indie games in particular. Some of them have really taken off. Some of them are terrible. Some of them are light-hearted. Some of them are super serious simulator type games. And I think there's still a lot of space in the market for more to attempt this kind of game. So I'm glad to see another game trying to step into that realm. This game has been around for a little while. I think I saw like 18 days ago was where a devlog was put out in itch.io. So it's been worked on for a while. It still has quite a bit of work to be done on it. And as I said, the first thing is that it really needs sound controls. It needs the quality of life controls where you can turn just the music off, or obviously all of the sound for people who want to do that. But the music is a bit relentless, so I wanted to turn it off. I'm going to turn it back on. Let's jump in and have a look at the gameplay, and then we'll have some critiques after that. So just saying ahead of time, if you're if you are just here for the gameplay, please don't forget to like and or comment and subscribe, just to get those algorithms trained up for me and you, as I always ask. And if you are here for the critiques, well, I hope the gameplay entertains you, and we will definitely sink into them soon. This is a game that I think has a huge amount of potential behind it, so I would like to see it expand accordingly and become a popular game, and I think it has that opportunity. Right, so let's unmute, and we will click play. Right, so we are in the game, and the first thing we are presented off is the kind of the items that people will want to be buying. So they want to buy the rusty daggers, health potions, wooden staffs, and minor health potions. These are the popular items for the week. That doesn't mean that people won't buy other items, but these are particularly what they're going to come in looking for. So daggers and staffs, and health potions, both minor and regular. So this is our play space. This is our little shop. We are presumably this man in armor over here. I really don't like this model. I don't know why we're standing in armor. It's a little weird. But we are in a dungeon somewhere, and we are basically the shopkeeper for the dungeon. So it is the bad guys that are coming to buy from us. And as mentioned in the comics, we don't really get much idea of that. We could just be an RPG shop in any town or city with people, adventurers coming in to buy from us. I don't know why we need to be the bad guy's shopkeeper, the dungeon. Maybe it's just easier to find assets for that. I don't know. It's a bit odd. Anyway, we are Dungeon Mart. We are the shop that the minions come to buy from. And there appears to be a skeleton on the floor by our feet. I mean, it's a cute detail. I don't know if we've murdered someone to take over their shop. Maybe that's how you take over shops in this dungeon world. Anyway, here are deliveries for the items that we have kind of pre-ordered to start the game off with. So if we just left click on them, we pick them up. And now we have a bunch of stock. We can't really seem to see our stock in general. There doesn't seem to be a see stock button. We can maximize the screen. We do have an objectives tab, which tells us the kind of things that we're working towards to unlock other elements in the game, or just achievements, I guess. I mean, these say unlock rewards, but they don't tell us what the rewards are. These seem to be different game modes that we can unlock, or not game modes, but the extensions. There doesn't seem to be a difference between all and in progress, and we haven't completed any yet. So, the next step is we stock our shelves. So if we look at this kind of rack, this is a weapons rack, and we saw that rusty daggers are popular and wooden staves are popular, and I think we have room for like 2 more items. So we now have 1 iron sword in storage, but everything else is now on the storefront. Over here we have a potion rack, and they wanted health potions and minor health potions, and let's stick a couple of mana potions out there so we don't have any more room. So here's our potions, mana potions at the bottom, and this is a kind of a shield table. Let's put 2 iron shields and a wooden buckler out. We can't fit anything more on there. And that's it. That's us setting up the shop for the day's kind of shopping, the day's work, I suppose. And that seems to be everything we can do other than open the shop. So let's open the shop, and some customers come in. There's I don't know if they're supposed to be orcs or goblins. They come in looking for what they want. They'll pick up the thing they want, sometimes pick up a few extra things as well, and then they'll come and pay and leave. And we unfortunately cannot move or do anything. We can add stuff back to our shelves if we want to. Now they're just waiting to process through, and then we get the day sort of summary of all the things that have been purchased. We've made some money. This is quite interesting because we have a missed -2. What that actually means is a positive thing. It means that not only did we not miss any requests that the customers made, but we also sold extra things to someone who came in for one thing. So we even got like a bonus there. It'll be in red if the customer came in wanting something in particular and we didn't have it on the shelves. So yeah, so that's the basic game loop, and then we finish that. So now we're done for the day. It's the end of the day. We now need to order replacements. So it looks like we have a couple of health potions, minor and major there, and a mana potion. You see, this is the problem. We can't see what's on the racks. I can't tell what they have or haven't purchased. So I have to kind of remember what's going on, and I really don't like that. And I can't really see the accumulation of what we have in stock and on the shelves. So sort of a window showing us that would make this a lot more easier and more fun. We can't do any upgrades just yet, because we need to unlock things first of all. So yeah, none of that we can do just yet. We can order, so we want to buy, let's just get some health potions. We've still got mana potions, so we're not going to order those. So it's health potions, and let's order a couple of daggers and a couple of staves. We haven't unlocked other items to stock our shop with yet, so we've still got these very entry-level trash there. So we're going to spend $60 on that order. We have $800 odd remaining. Alright, so now the items will arrive the next day. There's nothing else we can do in the evening, so let's jump through to the next day. Here are the items we've ordered. Let's put them on the shelves. And that's it. They just bought all the health potions that we have. We didn't buy another shield, so we'll just put those 2 there. And let's put the daggers and staffs back on the rack. Alright, so now we have a new set of stock. So we open the shop, and these people come in. It's like a goblin with hair, and some kind of, is he a skeleton or something? I don't know, the character models are really, really interesting. Movement's a little dodgy, but that's fine. I mean, it's looking like everyone's happy. That person's buying both the staves. lady? Come on. Yeah, so we sold a bunch of items. We didn't miss anything, and everybody was happy. And that's it. That is all the gameplay I'm going to show, and we're going to talk about the critiques for the game in a moment. Yeah, so if you're just here to see the gameplay, I think this might have amused you. Obviously, there's a lot more to unlock and to see. Um, if you play for long enough, it looks like you need to play for about a week, I think, because there was. Yeah, I'm not sure what First Blood money is. Do we get to see achievements? No. Anyway, so yeah, you would have to play for a while, unlock things. There's some screenshots. If I press escape, and I'm going to mute the tab because I cannot think. There are some screenshots to show that you can buy a lot more tables and things in the shop. Can't really affect the layout too much, unfortunately. It just seems to be particular items. But yeah, you can expand all of those out, and so there's a lot more gameplay to play, even in this version of the game. Yeah, so come and give the game some love. Come and give the developer some love, because I would really like to see this expanded into a bigger, more flexible game like the other sort of shopping simulator type games that are out there. I think there's huge potential for this to grow and become more, and I really like the vibe so far. I think it just more can be done to it. Right, so that's all the gameplay. If you're leaving, thank you for watching. I hope to see you in the next video. If you are here for the critique, well, first the UI. Obviously, I don't like it because there are no sound controls. I also don't like it because there's no kind of real stock controls. You can't see what you own. You can't see what's on the shelves, because I have to kind of look and see what those potions are, and you can't like zoom in or anything. So I can't tell what they are. So if I could click on this, and then there was two tabs, like what's on the shelf and what's in stock. I think that would be the best way to do it. So click on this, what's on the table, what's in stock, and you can also, I would like to be able to move items backwards and forwards. If I bought like 3 iron shields and I wanted to put all 3 iron shields out, but there's already one wooden buckler out there, I want to be able to take the wooden buckler off and put the iron shields on, and that kind of thing. So I don't want old stock sitting on the table that I can't remove until a demand for it picks up, and I can put it back again. So the idea of sort of 2 tabs, and you can shift items backwards and forwards between them, and one's the storage room and one's the table. That would be nice. So those are the 2 big things for the UIs: the sound controls and the ability to move items around and see all of the stock that I have and all of that kind of stuff, and adjust them accordingly. The third thing is there's no real tutorial. I was clicking on the boxes and I'm going, why am I clicking on these boxes? Have I just taken over the shop? Is this trash that's there? There was no like text coming up and saying, oh, this is stock that you have that you're now putting in storage, or anything like that. So yeah, I mean that information didn't need to be there, but there does need to be a tutorial to say this is how you do the various things. This is where the stock is. This is how you see your stuff, and that kind of thing. Sort of just running into it and learning how to play on the fly is not good for a browser game at itch.io. You really need to prepare to take players by the hand and lead them into the game, because you're going to have players coming in who are not experienced regular gamers. They don't know how games are supposed to work, so you need to be able to teach them so they become regular gamers, and the gaming market keeps growing, because we want the gaming market to dominate the world. So try and focus on building a big tutorial. But step number 1 are those sound controls, because good lord, the song is nice for about 10 seconds and then it becomes aggravating. But I still want the other sounds in the background. And talking of that, let's go to the sounds. As I said, sounds terrible. There's no sound controls. I would like less music, quieter music, and more background sound. We're in a dungeon, so make the sounds like we are in a dungeon. Have clanks and distant yells and the creaks of doors and marching and orcs chanting, and just quietly background stuff to sort of say, yep, this is where we are. We're in this dark overlord's fortress doing, the Dark Overlord's bidding by selling goods to his minions, um, that we can make money from, I guess. Anyway, so yeah, I would love to see, well, hear rather, more of that ambient kind of location qualifiers. Um, it's better than the music. And the music I'd like to be able to turn on and off, and obviously the different sounds also, they need their own sound control. So we need a little options button in here somewhere, little gear wheel themed like the rest of the buttons. Um, I think that's quite important, because sounds make games. People don't realize how important sounds are, but if you're playing a game with no noise, no sounds at all, it feels unfinished. It feels terrible. But likewise, sort of aggravating, persistent sounds also can make the games feel amateur hour. And I think this game is already past that, and that's a pity. It needs the sounds to catch up with the rest of the game. And talking about the art, yeah, I think the art for the most part is fine. It's a little bit sort of clinically angular, but I think it's a good solid theming. I like the looks of the different characters. I will still say I don't know why our character is standing in armor. I think it would be nicer if we were this kind of skeletal figure, running the shop, and we're like a skeletal shopkeeper. I think that might be quite funny, and I think that might push the theme of it being Dungeon Mart a bit more, as opposed to generic RPG shop. We do need more gameplay, as people I think in the comments mentioned, to say that yes, we're in a dungeon, we're not just a regular RPG shop, and we are serving the minions. An idea for them might be sort of like credit with the Dark Lord or something like that, rather than dollars. So people come in and they just pick up the items, and they don't, we don't get money for it, because we're a minion of the Dark Lord, as it were. We're not a regular shopkeeper, so we shouldn't get minion, but we shouldn't get money. But we should get like respect. Sort of the, if we're respected enough, the Dark Lord will supply us with this equipment to supply his troops with. And we kind of lose respect as we take the equipment, but gain the respect as we pass the equipment on to the minions, and that kind of thing. So make it less commerce and more of like a supply clerk. I realize the game name is Dungeon Mart, so which is like a market. So money is inherent, but again, not necessarily. So we don't deal with gold. We deal with our position in the ranks, as it were, as a supply officer for the evil armies. That would be my idea there. But I mean, the shop is fine. It works. Who knows how the Dark Lord will organize his empire? But that might have made it a little bit more interesting. Yeah. So the artwork is generally fine. I don't know why I'm standing in armor. I think, yeah, we should look different. I do like the minions as they come in. I like the way they look. I think they look really interesting. I don't like their movement so much. I think the movement animations need a little bit of work on figuring their way around the place. They kind of sort of roller skate sideways as they turn around and things like that. Animations are hard though, so that's absolutely fine. I mean, all they have to do is portray them moving around the shop, and they're sufficient. Having said that, as a starting point, why are we all tucked into this corner here? This rack should be sort of over there or something like that. So there's just stuff against the wall that the bad guys walk up to. I don't know why you have a rack in the middle here that the AI has to path its way around so early in the game. I mean, it's fine. It works. None of them seem to get stuck. It was all managed. Maybe it's there to specifically test that, to test the pathing. But in terms of being able to play it, I'd much rather the racks were against the back wall. And we fill in the walls and only then start having things in the middle of the shop, just for the kind of the future shop layout once we get to that point. And then we're talking about the gameplay. Now the gameplay is fine. Like I said, the big thing I would like to see as a kind of a UI update is the addition of more information about where the items are, and information that looks like it's on a scroll or something like that. Um, for the theming, but yeah. So what's in the stock on the left, what's on the table on the right, and then just maybe a separate button to say what's in the stock. I suppose the orders, and the orders do have it in stock here, but it's only the stuff that's in stock. It's not the stuff in the shelves. So I think in stock should contain both the stuff that you have in storage and the stuff that's actually sitting on a shelf somewhere, and this doesn't seem to have that at the moment. Um, for example, we do have healing potions on here, but if we try and order it, it says we have no healing potions, um, or minor healing potions, and we do. They are still on the shelves, so it would be nice to be able to see all of the things as part of our ordering process, because that's very confusing. Um, yeah, but other than that, I think the gameplay is fine. You order stuff, you upgrade the shop, people come in and buy the things. Fantastic. As a future plan, it would be nice if there are quests and chatter and some kind of in-dungeon drama that we become a part of and all of that kind of stuff. But I mean, those are very much future plans. As it is, as a base gameplay, this is fantastic. Just wish the UI was a little bit more improved around it. Um, Otherwise, good points. Good points for this game. Bravo, developer, you've done good. Um, which brings us kind of to the immersion elements, which we've already mentioned. There's no way to really tell that we are in a dungeon, and we do need more elements and more storyline and things like that to say what's going on and where we are, what we're doing, all of those kind of things. I think again, it's quite an early game. There's huge plans for it and things like that. There might be quite a bit more happening later on, but for now, yeah, I don't feel like I'm where the developer wants me to feel like I am. So a little bit more theming around that should probably be on the list of things to do. It probably is, but I'm just saying, to devs, remember to set the story of your main character, whomever it is, even if it's Armor Dude here. Make the player become immersed with that character, because that's what drives players. If I'm just completing like a fight in a game just to play the fight, it doesn't really mean anything to me. I'm just playing game mechanics. That's boring. But if I'm fighting because the guy that I'm fighting has attempted to attack this person that I like, suddenly I now have a cause. I have a motive to win the fight as the player character, and that makes a huge difference. That is the kind of thing that pulls the players into the games. That flag for the player to rally behind is important, because it pulls the player into the game. So I call it the immersion factor, and it turns a game that could be terrible, but if the player cares about what happens to the player character in the game, they will play it. They will play terrible games because they care about the outcome. So if you have a good game and good immersion, you have an incredible game that a lot of people will be very excited about playing. And that's it. That's all of the critiques that I have for this. I really want to see this built on. I really want to see more of this game. I really want to see it out there, and I will play it a lot more, and more than likely purchase it if it ends up being a game for money. With some of these changes that I've mentioned, this game I wouldn't purchase, but with the game that I can see behind this one, I would almost certainly drop some money on it in Steam, and spend far too much time playing it. So I don't know, maybe you shouldn't make it, because it will addict me, no doubt. So thank you to all of you who are listening, and I hope to see you guys in the next video, and I hope this one has been entertaining. Link is in the description. Come and give this game some attention, come and give the dev some love, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.